Congratulations on your new position as Chief Customer Experience Officer. Can you tell us a little bit about the new focus and what that means for the library and for your customers?
I'd be happy to, and thank you, Sandy. It's a really incredible opportunity for me personally. I do not have a master's in library science, so to be responsible for all of the public service staff, the libraries, the library staff, as a marketing person is really a profound opportunity for me personally. What I'm going to be doing is not only overseeing the staff who run our branches every day, but I'm also looking at something a little bit bigger than that. I'm looking at holistically the experience of our customers as they interact with our library brand. Whether you're walking through the door, whether you only ever reserve a book online, whether you're at a story time, all of those need to be a consistent, coherent experience, and that's my awesome responsibility that I hope I'm up for. I think I am, but it is new territory for libraries, and I feel privileged that I have that opportunity as a pioneer to be doing that.
Great. Alison, what guiding principles have you used to drive the strategy and the success of Columbus Metropolitan Library?
Well, I like to think about it in three categories. Number one, since I am the Customer Experience Officer, it is about the customer. It is so hard to remember to live in the skin of the people who experience our library. It's really easy to see things as the way you already know it as an insider, and my rigor is to remember that's not how our customers experience it. So that's number one. Number two is to stay focused. We always laugh about being shiny pennies and running off to whatever seems like a really exciting new idea, but we have to be disciplined to stay focused on our strategies. That's our obligation to taxpayers, to really have impact. It's no longer enough to be a broad swath where we touch a lot of different things and one or two markers of success move incrementally. We're going for a big impact. The third thing is we need to tie ourselves to community outcomes. What is important in our community? Not what's important to us. That's not even relevant. How are we going to leave our community better than when we found it, because we align ourselves to what's important as a community outcome? Those are the three things that I try to keep forefront every day.
You've built quite a reputation in the library community, and you're often sought out for advice. What's the most common questions that you get from your library colleagues, and what advice do you give?
Well, let me start by saying I sure hope that's a good reputation. I hope it's not a bad reputation. But I think it is. But I do travel around a lot, and what I see is a hunger to understand how to get started. I think there's a pretty profound understanding that there's a need to shift what libraries are doing, but it's really hard to get started. And what I get asked all the time is, what do I do? Where do I start? And I go back to, what is your community outcome? What are your customers' needs? And focus. Because libraries have a tradition, started over the front doors of our own library, open to all. Well, you can no longer be successful with a strategy like that. So how do you narrow down to reflect what's important to your customers and your community, and then what's the process by which you arrive at that? The other thing that I hear all the time is, oh man, I want to do it, but I've got people back here who don't want to change. And so how do I move people forward? And that was a big challenge in our own library, and we started embracing a philosophy about managing transitions, helping people through the change process. And for everything that we do, we have a change process strategy to bring people along, because we can only have impact if everybody's on board with where we're going. And that's a big challenge as well. So those are the couple of things that I get asked all the time.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
I would be remiss not to ask you a question about what you're reading, and I think one of the reasons you're so great in this new role is because you're not just an insider, but you are a library customer. So what's something interesting that you've read lately?
Well, I love answering this question, and I just finished an incredible book. It's called The Idea Factory by John Gertner, and it's about the history of the Bell Labs. They invented the transistor, they invented information theory in the 1940s, which is what we live today with computers and cell phones, the whole silicon that became Silicon Valley. What's really interesting to me is how they fostered collaborative innovation by bringing people together who could meet by accident just by the physical nature of the building. But then the other thing that's really important to me right now working in libraries is why Bell Labs fell from the high tower of what they were. And it's because they forgot they had competition. They had no competition for 50 years, and then all of a sudden people could do things cheaper and faster, and they never adapted, and they kept proceeding in the old model. And as libraries and as any organization, you got to get out ahead of that. And that piece is so fast today that we could be outmoded very quickly, just as Bell Labs was, if we're not careful and understand our customers and use research and understand where we need to be. So, awesome book.
Thank you for that recommendation.